Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to focus on the Pokemon TCG Classic. So I pulled it up on the screen here for us to check out, and it's already sold out on Pokemon Center's page, but Pokemon Center does an awesome job of, listing all the different pictures, giving the good description of what's in the product itself. And the part that I was just surprised at myself was we got an email the other day basically saying that, hey, we need to put your pre-orders in quick. The deadline is just around the corner. So I go on the distributor page, I check it out to put my order in, and I'm like, the pre-order closes in less than a week. Like I don't even get a full week to decide how many, I need of the product. So I figured I better make a video, throw something out to our gamers and say, hey, if you missed your chance on the Pokemon Center webpage, I've got an option of potentially getting some for the store. Are you guys interested? Is this price point of $400 too expensive? That's a part that I don't know. I want more people's feedback on what they feel. Is this too expensive of a product? Do they price it right because they're making this premium nostalgic, package for everybody? I don't know. I'm really indifferent right now as to is this something that is priced at a good spot, or did they price it too high or too low? I really don't know. But before we get too far into that, let's run through the product real quick. Let's check it out. So we'll make it a little bit bigger on the screen. We've got this fancy black carrying case that houses the 3 decks, the game board, which it looks like potentially the case itself might be the actual game board. So as we kind of go through the pictures, it's interesting to see as it unfolds, like how this case is made up, because we don't really know how this outer shell is. Is like the game board inside of it, is the game board part of it, because it looks pretty rigid. And when we get into the other pictures for the actual game board itself. So jumping down a little bit here, we'll make this bigger again. And it looks like we've got a crease that goes across the middle where it folds in half. And I don't know if that's going to be just like an actual board game board, because it's not a neoprene mat. But we get to another picture too, it looks like there's got some raised edges, like the board is raised up off the table itself, where it's not flat like a board game mat would sit. Here's the rest, kind of like overlaying the contents. You got the different deck boxes that house each of the decks. You got your poison counters, damage counters, and then the lid for the case for the counters themselves. Making the good old debut Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise. They're bringing it back. But down here in the bottom, they've got the major difference that stands out to indicate that they are different from the actual base set cards themselves, is the new set numbers for being part of the actual deck itself. But then also you have a new set symbol for the actual classic box. So the only part I don't know too much on is because you have red for Charizard, you've got green for the Venusaur, blue for Blastoise, but is it going to be red for all the cards in the red deck? Is it going to be green for all the cards in the green deck that, correspond to Venusaur? So those we'll have to check out as time comes. But when you look at the box here for the actual game board, you can see how it's raised up on the bottom here. So it almost makes you wonder, is the handle part of the case kind of like an oversleeve where the board just folds in half? You put all the contents inside of the board, and then you slide the carrying sleeve on top that has the handle. So we'll definitely have to check it out when we get one in stock at the shop, because we have to open one. We just have to go through, because these pictures, I would say, probably do no justice to this product. But we'll keep cruising through the photos here, because like you can see here that the board folds in half. You got your deck boxes. Looks like they have little make it a little bigger, little engraved spots right here in the bottom side to prevent the actual deck boxes from shifting side to side. Your damage counters moving around while you're carrying it. Here's a little bit bigger of the deck boxes. So they're definitely built for the actual deck itself. You know, they didn't really give a lot of extra room, so it looks like it's built just for the deck, but it's got that awesome, flip cover. I would assume that with most of like alcoves and Game Gen X and Ultimate Guard, all the different companies out there that have these fancier style deck boxes, usually have some type of magnetized to kind of hold it shut. My guess is that this probably has the same thing. And then you've got the little symbols on the deck boxes to indicate which deck came from which box. So that's a nice little touch right there. And this gets a little bit closer to your damage counters, and they're stackable counters, which is a different touch. Instead of using the dice or using counters, it's you kind of stack the increments of 10, it looks like, to indicate how much damage is on the actual Pokemon. And then here's a little bit cooler up close picture of the different counters. And then we've got another picture of the poison counters as well. And then so this is another part too that is interesting. So the way that this is laid out for this box, I don't really see it in the other pictures. So like I don't know if this is just how the initial decks come before they get put into the actual deck boxes that you have to store them. Is this kind of like the almost like the storage box that comes from the factory? Then you take the decks out, you assemble them, because they also say that there's deck sleeves as well that comes with this kit, and they don't really touch on what the sleeves look like or go into further detail on that part. So as we get down here a little bit farther, this kind of breaks down like the backwards packaging of the box, what the board looks like, and then kind of the description of what the contents of the actual TCG Classic box contains. But as we scroll down to the bottom here, where we're looking at the contents inside, so not only are you getting those 3 decks that they have, but they also added 6 new cards. But it's still kind of an interesting aspect here, is you've got Suxakun EX, Lugia EX, and Ho-Ho EX, but it doesn't really say if those cards are going to be playable. Are they going to be, just as a substitute to play in these classic decks? So that part we're not really too sure on. But it's still, as like a side note they throw down here, is that the cards in here say that they're for unofficial tournament use, but then they also say that there's some bonus cards that are not technically part of the decks. So it's kind of a toss-up unless they're just using the blanket statement saying that everything from this kit is not going to be available, or I should say legal itself, to play in the official TCG gameplay. But the energy cards, we still don't know what they look like, but you are able to use the energy cards in the actual, I should say, official tournament play. So if you want to spice up your deck with some, cool looking cards, assuming that these are going to be kind of like the base set versions, because they're going with that base set, nostalgic theme. If you want to bust out the old school energies and, kind of sneak them in your deck to go old school, looks like you've got the availability to do so. But touching back on the rest of the contents in the box, we mentioned on the sleeves a little bit. So you are going to have a set of sleeves for each of the 60 card decks, which is cool that they incorporated sleeves. But I'm really curious, are they going to be a higher quality, like, a Dragon Shield style sleeve? Are they going to be, just like the regular Pokemon ETB sleeves? Because those could be gloss, those could be matte, they're just all over the place. So I'm really intrigued to see, because of this high price point, what the quality of, like the accessories and sleeves, are going to be for this product. So if you had a chance to jump over on the Pokemon Center web page, check out all the details and stuff, let me know what you guys think. Is this product for you? Is this something that is out of your price range or you're not interested in? let me know. Because then that way I can put in the order with the distributor, because I do have that very tight window. But at least give me a heads up. I don't know how many I'm going to be able to get, so I'm not going to put pre-orders up. I'm not going to guarantee anybody product until I have official hard numbers of what I will be getting. But from this point forward, I need the input from you guys. I really, really am curious as to what you guys think, and just drop a comment down below. Or if you're part of our Discord or use Facebook, you're more than welcome to go to our Facebook page and drop a comment and start a conversation for us. I'll make another post on our Facebook page about this as well, and then link the video to it, just so that way you'll have a spot just to drop your comments and let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you guys later.